carry on at Kiva Gamma from where we were last time. What was it? Oh, we'd just come up here and with a tap.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. Miscalculations are for commoners. I don't make mistakes. I make profitable learning experiences.
Focus, Van Kellogg's. Focus.
Yes.
I better myself through my service.
I always keep my options open.
Down there. Oh, so many.
Remember, innocence proves nothing. Let's see to it. For the throne's glory. Naturally. I won't object to it.
He's got toughness and strength reduction and action. Oh! She's got intelligence, perception, willpower. That's not too bad for her. None of her stats run on it. That's quite a big aff. Got no one to do
Always
affects.
keep your eye on the
Athletics.
prize.
Athletics. Oh, bugger. That's gonna make things difficult. A small, heavily augmented man in a filthy, tattered robe stands before you. As you approach, he hesitantly looks up at you, his eyes filled with horror. A portable inscriber with a keyboard hangs from the scribe at his foot. Hangs from straps at his foot, sorry. And you can see his detached cerebral cogitator peeking out from under his hood. Is this another one of the cultist minions? The tech priest cowers behind his hands, whimpering pitifully. No, I'm not a cultist. They tried to corrupt my mind with their heresy, but I ran. I am a Ministorum Lexomechanic Zeta 86. I perform the rituals of the machine spirit of Foundry 95. Up until we started going mad, priests devoted to the Omnissiah suddenly started praising the dawn of something or other. They stopped the belts, and then they desecrated the vestiges of the sacred machines with unholy symbols. Some of them resisted, the others grabbed them, tied them up, and then they turned their implants into heresy. I saw the man, my former tech comrades, deliberately connect those poor souls to corrupted cogitators. I watched them. They were infected with scrap code. And and did nothing to stop them. I'm recording a violation of the commandment of thine own forged be a true sentinel. Apostate Zeta 86, your access are hereby revoked. Proceed with your report. The icy rumbling coming from Pascal's vox causes the exomechanic to lower his head in fear of contrition. And how did you manage to avoid the same fate? I didn't avoid it. They performed the same procedures on me. I felt the touch of unholy code. I allowed it to control me. I abandoned the sacred post and followed one of the traitors, serving his will and gathering all the data for his blasphemous experiments. I was driven by an unholy impulse coming from the depths of my auxiliary cogitator, where the code had lodged itself. Before I found my way to throw off the compulsion, I witnessed horrifying heresy, the extraction of true flesh, and the decomposition on altars, perverse procedures that result in heretical tech abominations. I even accompanied a fallen Magos to the fabricator censor himself and attended the whole unholy mass he led personally. It was a wicked ritual, full of willful deviations and blatant inaccuracies, all to create an ungodly monster in the name of the final dawn. You don't act like the other priests who were infected. The lexomechanic gestures at the wires and connectors spilling out from under his hood. Praise the gifts of the Omnissiah. I managed to disconnect my external cogitator, which I used for primary data processing. The machine is corrupted. The scrap code is locked inside it, like a beast in a cage. But anyone who tries to look into will fall victim to the heretical program. My primitive brain has been marked by corruption. I still see their silhouettes, hear their interference. I sense the malfunctions in my augmetics, but I was still saved from the great sacrifice. Oh, blessed are the workings of Omnissiah, and his benediction that sheltered the weak from evil. Hendrik tenses over us so slightly the ex-mechanic's words. You see his hand casually stray to the handle of his weapon, but the interrogator is in no hurry to act. You mention a monster. Is that some kind of weapon? No, not those constructs that are melted down in the furnaces. They sent into the depths of the Ministorum. It is some kind of semblance of a cogitator, a nightmarish parody of a sacred machine, powered not by the Omnissiah's grace, but by unholy spirits and life force of the unfortunates imprisoned in the lower levels. I don't know much, except the fabricator censor saw that machine as special. It was special to him, and to the crazies who defiled the Omnissiah's abode and their obscene blasphemy. For the final ritual, he even called upon one of the Astartes heretics who arrived at the Manufactorum after the start of the uprising. He did something terrible, and only after that were they able to switch the machine on. It's a true abomination. Even standing near it is unbearable. I believe that even those who have been deprived of the Omnissiah's grace still feel its influence on them. The monstrous power utilizes for unholy computations and chaotic calculations. Whatever that cogitator might spew out, At the end of its cycle, no righteous soul should accept its heinous offering. You mentioned someone's in prison on the lower levels. Oh no. How did your crazed comrades behave? Like the grace of the Omnissiah had left them entirely, replacing free thought and process with blackest corruption. I witnessed them desecrating structures blessed by the fabricator censor himself. Though what do the blessings of a rotten traitor count for now? Like men possessed, they set upon the sacred instruments and assembled shells and nodes that didn't match any diagram or blueprint I'd ever seen. Sacrilege. Prisoners on the lower level. The lay servants of the main unit. They live in isolated segments under the sacred machine halls. I hear they were locked in there after the takeover. Then my crazed brethren changed the system for disposing of slag waste and covered the machines in cursed symbols. The lexomechanic hesitates. After they started the cogitator, they dragged the survivors out of the segments under the machine hall. Well, what the survivors had turned into. You demonstrate exceptional powers of observation and recall for someone who had just happened to survive. I'm an ex-mechanic. Gathering data is the purpose of my existence. That's even what they used me for. Trails off, blatantly understanding the subtext of the interrogator's words. They used me against my will. The scrap code turned everyone into the slave before I rid myself of the cogitator. I was forced to serve alongside those who perpetrated those atrocities and witnessed their obscenities. What do you make of it, Hendrix? The interrogator tilts his head. Servants of the Omnissiah, I must know more about the Final Dawn, the fabricator sensor, his mass, and about the machines as well. I could give you the cogitator, but the mechanic drops his head. Even though I was present for many blasphemies committed by those heretics, all the details that were captured and processed by my true flesh are in the augment that was corrupted by the scrap code. I am convinced that if I hadn't fought off the foreign compulsion in time, I would have been doomed. The corruption would have spread to my biological cogitator as well. The lexomechanic taps his finger on the device hanging from his ear. Several wires. I swear, I have no doubt tech priests should come into contact with what's hidden in the once sacred device. Hendrix's expression stiffens as he stares intently at the disconnected implant, and still intact connectors protruding from under the lexomechanic's collar. The corner of his mouth twitches involuntarily. What are you thinking, Hendrix? Hendrix does not speak for several seconds, gritting his teeth. Then, in a meditative tone, as though he is mustering aloud, he addresses the lexomechanic. There may be a way to retrieve the cogitator's contents via another device. The lexomechanic shakes his head in reproach. Even if the very idea of exposing a holy machine to the scrap code wasn't profane in itself, my augmentics are not universally compatible. They cannot be connected to another machine spirit. They are created to interact within the system of my true flesh. To innovate my cogitator unit and input data via the inscriber. Once I am safe, I swear that I will immediately perform a cleansing rite and destroy. In other words, there is only one way to extract the data stored in your cogitator. What are you talking about? If we connect the cogitator to the augmented system, the electromechanic will serve as a conduit for transmitting the data. We will learn the details, even if they are incomplete, of the things he saw and heard, but is now unable to recall. The electromechanic, who has been listening to your discussion in puzzlement, finally understands what's going to happen to him, and he begins to back away in fear. No, anything but that. I'll die. No, it'll be worse than that. I'll succumb to the corruption. I'm begging you, please, I'd rather be burnt as a heretic than have the scrap code in my biological cogitator. At these words, Hendrix pauses for a fraction of a second, almost as if he's reconsidering. In failing to offer any resistance against the enemies of the Omnissiah, Unit Zeta 86 lost his grace, the machine rank, and was recategorized as a resource for Manufactorum. The defilement and torment of said resource, if committed to advance the struggle against heresy, will not be deemed an apostate or malfraction against a living soul. Upon expiry of the Unity, disposal is recommended. We cannot allow the information to go to waste. One life is a small price to pay for the good of the Imperium. Oh, I don't know. Hendrik stopped. The leader of the cult would never discuss anything of importance in front of a witness. Leave the poor man alone. We must know where the cogitator is. Even if the heretic's conversations are unimportant, I must know why the machine was so valuable to them. I'll tell you. The electromechanic rummages in his ragged clothes until he produces a scrap of parchment. A different augmented is responsible for my muscle memory. It has a data storage too. I remember where I walked and what I pressed with my fingers. Here are the coordinates and the code. It's probably the code to the bay. He scratches out the numbers with a fingernail as he passes the parchment to Hendrix. Hendrix's eyes bore into the small man. At last, having reached some conclusion, he turns to you. He is a subject of your will, Kinokon. It is for you to decide his fate. He has been tainted by corruption. I cannot allow him on my ship. He can seek out his own path to salvation. The electromechanic lets out a sob and hurries away. Hendrix watches him go. Perhaps when Kiva Gamma is purged, he will find himself in a place in the changed world. If he doesn't die before then, let's go, Kinokon. We need to find the cogitator.
I always have a backup plan.
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
10 ballistic skill. For my... What's he using? Run and gun, +1 damage. Damage is based on ability bonus. give him that. The ladder down there, but I can't get to it. So yeah, I have to go this way.
Let us not dawdle.
35% chance.
The burden of
Flinch.
failure is the most terrible punishment.
I believe I failed that. Yep. Oof. 95. Everyone seems to be okay. Off me. Basic goods. Screen of the cogitator shows a scrolling line of repeating tech. Ingua. Started after your obscure symbols gives you a headache. Staring at the obscure symbols gives you a headache.
Nothing escapes my sight.
A massive Magos clad in ritual garb lets out a binary shrill and turns to you from beneath the deep hood of his mantle. Two dim lit eye implants gaze at you. You hear another binary triad, this time clearly addressing you. What's the matter, little tin comrade? Implants on the brink, forgotten how to speak properly. You dare address me in vile tongue of savages? Me, the steward of Kivagama, lord of the machine world, neo-prophetic spawn, if you seek swift disposal. You propose that I, a rogue trader of the Von Valancius line, kneel before you. I am giving you 5 minutes. No, not to beg for forgiveness, to speak your last words and to offer your final confession. You are one of the troglodytes who once had the gall to oppose my comrades and resist my will. A messenger from the barbarian who drank the sacred gunst bestowed upon her through others' toil. Very well, then. Your appearance is the perfect opportunity to teach you your ilk a lesson. My name is Kubris Delphine. I once held the title of Fabricator Censor on Kivagama Ministorum, but I rejected it, along with the other fetters that hindered progress. Once my faith was flawed and led naive fools from the cult mechanicus into the darkness of ignorance. Now I am this world's master and serve the true gods. You tread upon the territory and you do not number among their legion's servants, therefore you must be subjects of immediate disposal. As a senior of a Manufactorum, priesthood of Mars, I, Magus Explorator Pascal Hanneman, declare this temple of a machine god compromised, and forthwith forbid all service within it. I dethrone the fabricated censor, the ignorant heretic who has betrayed the Omnissiah, and condemn as Aphium any and all standard procedures implemented by him. Let the cycle of blasphemous operation he has put into motion be discontinued. Pascal switches to Binheric. You hear dissonant burgeoning in the depths of the Forge Cathedral. Some of the giant mechanisms heed his order and go still for a while, obeying the fabricator's sensor's will. Continue their work. Crashes, explosions, and the clanging of crumbling metal signify that some of the descent among the machines has interrupted the Manufactorum's production cycle. Hanuman, liar, you are not him. The immense Hanuman obeys me. His mind is open to the voices of the void, and the scrap code he created protects my world. And I will not have you, rusted refuse from the misfit caste of exploiters call me ignorant. This statement is false. Your regalia have been revoked, and you have been deemed defective and will be eliminated. Pascal turns and says dryly, initiating heretic search. Designation Demens Hanuman. I wish to execute the retribution protocol. Procedure. So you traded one master for another. I would have expected the fabricator sensor to be smarter than that. The fabricator sensor's vox lets out a piercing, barely audible sound that makes your inside shudder. I will rip out your spinal column and braid it around my staff, you ignorant creature. I usually prefer negotiating to fighting. Fighting destroys property and wastes resources, but in your case, I'm afraid, that extreme measures must be taken. You may be driven by your will to fight, but know this, Kiva Gamma has already been converted. Its lines have been restructured, and its servants have already tasted the fruits of progress. In the crucible of the Manufactorum, torrid liquid metal will be used to forge vessels for sacred spirits. The adepts are already tirelessly delving deeper into the new mysteries that were once barred by false tenants. You, servant of fake gods, are too late. The entire might of this world will soon rise up against the Amphion and his slaves. So many open admissions of heresy in a few sentences. Sister, how many death sentences would you say warrant? No, would you say his words warrant? I cannot answer that, Master von Colox. It is not my duty to measure the guilt of heretics. When the Adeptus Sorton appear before the enemies of the Imperium, it is time to fire, not count. And now is one of those times. Check my watch. Your 5 minutes have passed. I hereby sentence you to death, and I will be one to carry it out. Comrades, purge the Manufactorum of any random variables. I must prepare for the culmination of our great work. Guts of the outsiders, let their blood mix with oil.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Oh, there's a box here. A tome containing warnings of the Omnissiah. This set of unshakable tenets of the Adeptus Mechanicus is hidden from the eyes of laymen. With the special binhemic cipher, only anointed text priests can divine the sacred knowledge from its folio.
Pay attention. Duty prevails.
Is there money to be made?
Acquisition is possible.
The Emperor favors me today.
It's not show up here. The screen of this calculator shows a scrolling line of repeating technolinguage. Oh, I've seen that one already. Blow up a wall.
I'd better myself through my service.
Blow up a wall and then I can't even climb it. Oh. As you approach your cogitator, you notice a number of deep scratches left by a huge claw on its metal surface. Despite the apparent damage, the machine seems to be in good working condition. Activate emergency bridge lowering procedures. We touch the lever and the reel on the cogitator panel and disrupt the slumber of the spirits that reside within the cogitator. The machine dawdles as if still drowsy, but nonetheless performs the assigned function. The cogitator is silent, waiting for new commands. View the log. The log contains nothing of interest in the machine's ritual schedule for its sacred machines that moves the bridge, an activation log, and a few notes of a religious nature. Tech priest, step away. Right, so that's 45. So let's just start off from here.
I woke up with a feeling of wonder, as if a field of flowers was blossoming nearby. A child.
Fate and fortune favor the bold.
I haven't got anything. Ooh. Magenta.
When the faithful are idle,
No, you don't have grenades.
heresy grows.
Glad I remembered. Whoops. Everyone got everything they can use. Right, Pascal is probably the first one to add.
Are authorized. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
Right. He's all the way back there. On its front. Or here. Up next to him. Scale. These look like they're going to run at me anyway. I can see where she is. Pascal can just start. Funny, I'm not even worth attacking.
Setting target parameters for tech familiar unit. Running binaric override. My vow is to serve. Request a significant value.
Another scar for my collection.
Rejoice in battle!
She went with...
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury!
She can't see him.
I refuse. Doubt is for the weak. Can't really do much of anything. Faith without deeds is worthless.
We've got a job to do, Glato. It won't take long. The hand of punishment takes its due. I'll take it as a prize executed.
Taking calculated risk is my second nature.
Right.
It's as good as done.
Argenta.
I'll see to it personally.
High momentum.
Let you have another go.
You should feel honored to witness this.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart! As the Emperor commands, I act. Ah!
Alright. Glamour out.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Grenade.
This is unacceptable. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Missed it.
I'll make it happen. I'll see to it personally.
Eight.
It's as good as done.
We will.
Let's test our skills, Glato.
Still not there, but closer. Kibbles.
Death comes in silence. Trust me.
Some blood going. So, how do I want to do this? First of all,
The shadows will see it done.
then no.
There is only death.
Target
Or
eliminated.
mine.
Then for the time. So, wait,
As honor ordains. As
Lay
the
down.
tenant. Trust me.
isn't it? Right. Well, this guy.
But of course, Lord Captain. Let's see to it. For the throne's glory. Your reckoning is due.
Argenta's in the open. She doesn't get shot.
As the tactical imperative dictates.
Just told you to go over there. Why didn't you move? That was Pascal's turn.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
I am everyone.
I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Power
Shot around.
resides in the will of the righteous. Faith without deeds eradicated. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. This is why I was chosen!
Get down there.
Each strike is a prayer.
Let me reload.
Hold the formation. Accepted.
Shot.
Understood. Executed. It won't take long. The guilty will fall. Glato, we're undertaking this task.
You get to him now? Not bad time. Missed him completely.
Who if not
Shotgun.
me?
Missed him, but his cover's gone. Brave.
I'll see to it personally.
Stroke.
On it.
On birdie, finish him off.
I'll see to it personally.
Not close. He is burning, so maybe he'll...
I'll make it happen.
I am your blade and shield. As honor ordains. Trust me. Caught by the web. I shall not come. The other side awaits.
Just leaves that one guy.
I'll put my psychic abilities to use. Be gone!
What's that? One more over here, isn't there?
Let's see to it.
Gentle boost. Can't see.
I won't object to it.
Advancing. Tech familiar activated.
I can't see him. Can't do anything. Argenta will start off with it. I'm on fire. Mars pattern arc rifle.
Keep your wits about you.
Seem great, but don't actually work with any skills. They're exotic. It's a bit of BS. On Glato. In there. He was barking as if he'd found something.
I always have a backup plan.
Easily done.
Marks of Chaos seem to be drawn your eyes and strike terror into you at the same time.
Operation successful.
What are you trying to tell me? Right. Melta. Biomancy staff. Something is howling within the metal housing, as if the machine spirit of the cogitator are lamentating some irreparable loss. Force access to the cogitator. You acknowledge the machine spirit. It is suffering is sufficient to trick the system and subdue it to your will. A false query, a crafty manipulation of controls, and you get what you want. You gain access to the cogitator's system. The device's machine spirit can do nothing to thwart you. Subdued by its default, it hides in the depths of its lair. Awaken machine spirit. You touch the levers and reels on the control panel and disrupt the slumber of the spirits that reside within the cogitator. Machines dwells as if it's drowsy, but nonetheless performs the assigned functions. Left away from the machine. Huh. That would have been helpful.
Let us not dawdle.
The dog thinks there's thought there was something over here. Can't see.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
See, right there. Duty prevails.
Good.
I always keep my options open.
The arc rifle. Broken panels on the cogitator is sparking. Its blinding dark screen shows nothing.
The machine god.
The device now
Insight.
eventually used to chop bodies. Evidently now used to chop bodies into pieces, was once an ordinary cooling fan. The pile of humans' remains carelessly tossed together emit a suffocating stench. The torn, gutted bodies, once belonging to tech priests, which you cannot spot even a glint of metal anywhere. All their implants are gone. Suddenly, one of the ravaged bodies makes the tiniest movement. The tortured man's lips move, ever so slightly, his half-closed eyelids twitching. Approach him. The man can barely breathe without his respirator implant. It is a miracle he survived a horrific vivisection, but it takes you a single look at the gaping wounds where the augments were ripped out of to realize death is only a matter of time. As if having sensed your presence, the half-dead man looks at you, sharply inhales the hot air. Machine spirit, deliver me. The Bonharic request coming from Pascal's vox sounds solemn and grim. Upon hearing it, the man's mutated face twists into a weak semblance of a smile. What did you do? My comrades, his voice barely audible. It seems each word takes a man a great deal of effort. Machine spirit, has the Omnissiah truly abandoned us? Kiva Gamma has fallen into the maw of the eternal enemy. The holy Magi has succumbed to heresy. The rest were stripped of their true flesh to feed the heresy. Preserve us, deliver me from erring. Sacrifice, life, living blood from vessels of true flesh while their heart is still beating. After that, oblivion. His eyes glow glassy. I knew you would come. I waited so very long. Deliver me from my torment. What a horrible fate to be betrayed by one's own. I attest that the three categorical requirements for assessing the status of martyr of the faith have been met. Opposition to the enemy, perseverance of adherents of a dogma, and brutal death, requesting the right to extract the subject's organic matter for it to be used in the creation of a honorable servo school. The man who is minutes from death wheezes weakly. It is an honor. I am thankful for the right to serve. Do at your request, Pascal. Leaning over Diamond, Pascal, his decisive yet surprisingly respectful motion cuts his throat. Wielding a long scalpel, it takes him mere moments to release cervical vertebrae from the hold of muscle and sinew and cut the vertebrae, severing the head from the body. Let your service continue, Tech Comrade. He can join me on our mission.